before we begin, just like to shout out to Lula for the video that I cross-posted onto my channel detailing the current season map pool. You can find Lula's channel for the purposes of the VOD, linked beneath. Here we go. B13 on the north spawn of Riddler, going bots first. This is post-change, I can tell by the crack being quite so far away, and also the air-only metal being less prominent. Going bots first into metal power, bots second. Meanwhile, into air third. Meanwhile, down in the south, Mirdinka, with no build queue. That's going to be curious. There we go. Get up with the times, Mirdinka. Current gen and all that. Going for bots first, air second. So we've got bots, air from B13, or bots, air bots from Mirdinka. Will Mirdinka get the fab snipes? Will he get the spark drops? Will he get the fabber drops into the air-only mechs on the far side of Riddler? We shall see. Only time will tell, but looking at the builds, B13 going for the immediate proximal mechs here, near this rocky outcropping there, and trying to lock it down with a vehicle factory. Also looks like going for a middle expansion as well, being very aggressive there. Going to try and lock down that, and that should just about stave off anything here as well, but it would certainly be a good thing to get. But it's quite a way away, it's quite a gambit. Time will tell if it'll work. Meanwhile, Mirdinka though, still lacking in the builds, just going and expanding in all sorts of different directions. Other than that, no proxies planned, no further builds. Keeping an eye out for bombers and pelicans, as we don't want those to go unnoticed. Double bots now, escorting the Faber entourage. Docks moving down to the south to try and lock down this area, this middle bit here. Gosh, I haven't casted in a while. I'm mixing my words. That hasn't happened in a while. With the docks getting down there, though, with the double bots first, that could be quite advantageous because of the unit counts in comparison to Mirdinka. But what's this? This is a docks from Mirdinka. Could have got a fab snipe, but nowhere near. What I was trying to say when I minced all my words is I noticed that B13 moved his stuff forward a little bit. So perhaps feeling a little bit emboldened somehow, some way. I don't know. We've got a fab here being escorted as well. You do want those dudes out in front, ideally. Got a Firefly there, just seeing if there's any expansion to these three mechs on the front border. Meanwhile, around the back, we've got some B13 docks coming in. They're going to get bombed out. A lack of micro there, probably because of attention being put somewhere else. No real raiding happening there. But he does now at least know of the bomber threat if he was paying attention to it. Well, you can imagine that anyway. Hence where the air is coming out to support, potentially, these sides of the planet. Mirdinka, though, trying to lock down his craters with some turrets. Just going to peek over the lip there. And going into double vehicles in base there. Are we going to see T2 vehicles off the bat? Woo! Bumblebee snipe. Hello. That was nice. So what B13 could be doing now is perhaps working towards locking down these 8 mechs there. That could be quite good, locking down these ramps here. But also all the mechs around the back of the base. T2 bots queued for B13 now. Going for slammers, potentially locusts. And I forget whether the sniper bot meta had crept in by this point. Playing with all those sniper bots rather than just spamming straight slammers. I forget. But we'll find out. No spoilers in chat, please. Getting some nice healthy raiding there with those sparks and docks mix. Quite potent on maps like this where it's going to be quite frantic. Still no T2 queued from Mirdinka, but loads of T1 yet coming off the bat. Loads of P-gens as well, so he's going to be able to afford all of this. Factory count 6 apiece. Fabbers, though, favouring Mirdinka. Eco, however, favouring B13. As far as metal expansion is concerned, that is merely down to that small little bit of raiding there, but B13 is doing really well at expanding and locking down those expansions. Mirdinka sending units in to die in each case. Some sparks trading zaps there. I think perhaps B13 came off a little worse for wear in that engagement. Doesn't matter too much though. Defends his fab, defends his base, defends the approach, and defends the time taken to get to his base. Plus he's managed to lock down this whole central area here. Turtle mode enabled, 2 double laser turrets and a pelter. That's going to draw some attention if ever there was such a thing. Rattling the bear's cage. Always a good thing to do. Especially in free-for-alls. Here we go. Let's see this turret do some damage to the sparks. Not quite enough, fast enough, but, you know, it worked. God, I really don't like these T1 laser turrets. I call those T1, and these ones over here T2, and then the triple barrel T3, even though I know that the triple barrel T2, but... There we go. Air fabs. What? Uh-oh. That's a dead air fab. Overkill, though. 13 hummingbirds. Was it 13 or was it 12? No, not even that. 11. No, more than that. 15. Maths, please. But looking it down. Nice, nice, nice. T2 bots almost finished for Mirdinka as well. Managed to catch up there to B13 with the fabs focusing it down on the commander side there. B13 going very, very fast there, but stalling on power just a little bit. Maybe overextending a little bit too much there. Mirdinka, though, lock down these crater expansions over here. We've got an anti-air in the air-only mechs there, so that's going to prevent Mirdinka from doing a little bit, unless these lobs go up. Ha! Never mind. Small forces coming in here, going to do what they can, but with this wall unit here against the turret there, not too much, plus with this force coming out, so that'll be nicely defended by Mirdinka. Little push here from B13 down the narrow choke there, locked out some mechs and pushed some fabs back, who are forced to try and build these defenses. A little bit too far forward though, that's a bit of a waste of metal there. Fabs survive, what? Okay. Units missing there. Slammer's coming out now though, but some forces from Mirdinka with skitter detection for mines. That's going to come around here and meet some T2, unless it decides to go in for some mechs raiding, which would be better placed to do. Instead, it's going to meet the T2 factory. It's going to see where it is. That's quite important. Lock this lot down. The wall unit, though, shots going just by it. Boop. Not quite. Nicely defended there. No detection on this side. Mines going down there. Mirdinka losing some more forces, but looking pretty solid everywhere else. This approach here and maybe the crater mechs on the other side of the planet there. Nice to reclaim that air-only mechs, or at least deny it from B13, even though he never actually built on it. But it denies the lockdown and gives Mirdinka the opportunity to go in and build thereon. Another force coming out now with some slammers. We're going to have some cannon fodder docks here up front. Turrets hopefully focusing down the slammers, but they are not. These units here really need to be focusing down the slammers, though. Still both alive there and kiting away. Only a turret and a single mech goes down, but potentially another mech's down on this side. Mirdinka needs a little bit more in the way of air. And just as I say that, I notice the T2 air going up. B13 playing very, very heavily in the air at the moment. Not too fussed about bombers. as he knows that there's a lot of skitters in Mirdinka's composition. Equally, for Mirdinka, a little bit of criticism. If you don't see any bombers, calm it down with the spinners. Then again, it's a wise safety precaution, just in case, while on the offensive, your opponent decides to switch hardcore into bombers, and all of a sudden you've got 5 bombers all on your army, and because you put your eggs in the basket of, he doesn't have any bombers in the skies, so I'm not going to skitter, all of a sudden, you're bombed. So how are we looking though? B13 up on eco by 100 there. 100 mechs, although behind on power. Not stalling, so it doesn't matter too much. Fabbers in the lead for B13, but Factory's behind. Got a little bit of pushing coming out here from Mirdinka. Gonna try and bring B13's metal down a peg or two. T2 vehicles coming up for B13 now as well. Levelers and shellers, I suspect. I wonder if we will see some vanguards in there just to help against the T1 spam. It's possible. Then again, the slammers are pretty good at dealing with that as is. Especially with the middle ground that B13 has been able to lock down. They can just fall back behind the walls, and there's really going to be nothing Mirdinka can do about that without some artillery units. We do have a few grenadiers, but they are T1 and with limited range. Here we go. Mirdinka pushes in. The Fabbers survive. A lack of awareness there from Mirdinka. There we go. Turning around. Fabbers die. Getting blocked off from retreat. In comes the air and the bombers from Mirdinka. All of a sudden, Mirdinka has air. I like this. Not anywhere near enough to contest B13's air. There we go. Gobble, 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 bleh. Go the bombers. On the other side, the lob is still doing work. B13's mechs again still being raided. He's building T2 mechs in his base, but he's actually 4 mechs points down from before, which just goes to show how good Mirdinka has been at raiding. And Mirdinka has shot up by about 80 mechs. Then again, that is also due to the T2 in the base. So now we're level peggings on eco. Power and mechs pretty much a piece there. Still slammers only from B13. No sniper bots coming out yet. Or indeed Blue Hawks. Or Locusts. Then again, Locusts have quite a hard time on this map with the chokes. Then again, if you get them through, that's tasty. Here we go, here we go. The walls, see? The walls, see? Walls, see? Gosh, the Sparks. Sparks are pretty good at shooting past those walls, actually. Sparks are better than Vanguards. Not Vanguards, Infernos. Confirmed. Infernos were sat behind. They're just like, yeah, we'll let the Sparks go ahead. I'm cool with that. And we've got a little force coming in the back here. Again, missed an opportunity to raid. Infernos up front in this one, though. Slammers getting picked off because of those Infernos giving the little soak potential. T2 vehicles has been seen now by Mirdinka. He's aware of it, and he also sees the bombers. So now he's going to start worrying about that air play. Pushing in on the front, locking down that expansion there, or indeed knocking it back. I shouldn't say locking it down. Knocking it back. There we go. Still have the detection in there. Down go the mines, using a little bit of the shots there. So it's good for these slammers here to be sat behind those mines, because while the shooting is going to the mines, it's not going to the slammers. Very nice. So that force was quelched. 2 mechs and a factory for its trouble. Also a bit more in terms of middle ground retake. In come the Phoenix, though. T2 air reveal, and there, whoo, is the air counterbalance. We've even got some Kestrels coming in too. T2 air is a T2 T2 air is a thing. We got a unit cannon. Hello. Is B13 aware of this? He's not. He's not aware of it. B13, what are you playing at, mate? Get some skating done. Not happy about that. I keep saying it. Pro levels do not scout enough. Anywhere near enough. You guys get so comfortable with your meta that you think you know what the enemy is doing. And then someone like Mirdinka comes along. Right, what are we getting out of the T2 vehicles? We've got shellers and levelers. Going to be able to shoot over bits of rocky land there. Maybe even place it behind those volcanoes. It's not got the range for that, but you can certainly put it around in here and it'll put pain to those 4 mechs. Sat right there. Hello, phone. I'm going to put you on vibrate. There we go. Thank you. Ooh. Hello, hello. Posturing, posturing, posturing. Moving round. Mirdinka doesn't know. Well, he does. He is doing enough raiding as it is. B13 did a good job, though. I didn't comment on it. He did a good job to lock down that air-only mechs. When I updated the map, I tried to make it slightly closer to the edges. B13 in chat says, a new patch came, and I didn't know how to play the game. If your entire knowledge of the game goes because of a patch, then you ain't a very good player, mate. Ooh, throwing shade. But there we go. Successful defense once more, and a successful raid on the other side from B13. Going to find this pesky lob that's been lobbing all game. Got the unit cannons loading. That's definitely a solid play from Mirdinka. Look at all those fabs trying to assist it out. The bombers and the kestrels need to keep that under wraps, though. You cannot let B13 see that that is a thing. That is the crucial play right here. And he needs to go and scout this commander because there's nothing protecting him. If he manages to find that commander and snipe it. I love you too, B13. And I love me too. Here we go. Here's the air. Is it going out to scout or is it going out to defend? It's going out to defend. Here's a triple fab train. What's a triple fab train doing offside? You're not supposed to go past the equator with triple fab trains. Offside fab train. Here we go. Here's the air. Is it going to go for the comm? Ooh. 2 T2 vehicle factories and a T2 air there too. Trying to get back into the game with B13 there. Being caught a little behind on the T2 air. The unit cannon is not yet full. Mirdinka, I think, didn't quite see the comm either. So just biding the time. Oh, there we go. No, he did see the commander. Or is he shooting it off in a different direction? Oh no, he's going for it. Did he? Yes, he did. It's right there. There's a P-gen between him and the commander, though. Oh, what? Why is there an attack move there? Never mind. Lands it right in there. But why is there an attack? What? I don't understand that. Right, anyway. But there's no air support for those slammers. Meanwhile, down the western approach, the western troke, there appears to be some shellers and lack of AA support there. Still no spinners from B13. If you're going to push your units past the equator, either have enough air to deal with it, or have maybe a few spinners to deal with the air that's going to meet you in battle. I personally think this unit cannon would have been much better. Whoa, hello, much better suited to a comm snipe, but then again, still no anti-orbital stuff coming up. So perhaps B13 isn't necessarily aware of the snipe potential of that unit cannon. He has got a few units sat next to the commander, but I think that might be more of an issue of pathing rather than actual, I'm going to put my dudes here as a conscious decision. Mirdinka now expanding across the map. The tables have turned in the eco game, up to 500 for Mirdinka. B13 only up to 400 now because of the metal that has been continuously raided by Mirdinka in the second half of this game. Stuff getting in there, trying to get in, going to be met by a turret on the other side. Boom, and we've got another unit cannon launch. Are we going for the commander this time? It looks like no. Behind the walls! Behind the walls. Ah. Interesting. So that whole planet spawn thing on the same orbit was still an issue back at this time. Because I put those asteroids in particular orbits so that they would not collide. And the fact that they do suggests to me that then it's definitely a wider map issue with the whole Basilica thing. Someone's building a nuclear missile launcher. Mirdinka's built a nuclear missile launcher. Nuke being built. But he's got a big old force coming in here. Will he get to use the nukes? Certainly, because there's a lot of levelers in there. And not many units left to fight against them. Good job, good job, good job. But B13 is not aware of the nuke. Yeah, that nuke bug has been there since nukes were first introduced as well. It's a real bugbear of mine. More unit cannons over the backside now. Presumably just continuing to do the raidy. There we go. Knocking that down. Will they be able to take out all of that mechs before they get bombed? Should do. And there it goes. Loads of T2 factories now for B13. Factory count up to 14, but Mirdinka sat comfortably on 25 factories. So much T1 air, it's unreal. Only 12 T1 air factories from Mirdinka. There you go. Force of levelers and shellers pushing down the west again. Gonna have to reroute some units to defend against that Mirdinka. There we go. Got a single spinner in there. Well, just shoot that out, and there you go. Free reign. In comes the air from B13. Again, nowhere near enough to be able to help defend against this. What will these units see, though? Doesn't look like they're going to quite find the nuke or the unit cannon, but he's going to be aware of the unit cannon by this point. Go. Note in chat that when using unit cannons for raiding, you don't necessarily need a full salvo of 12. 3 to 5 is potentially enough. In comes the air, sees where the commander is, sees no anti-nukes. Just gonna sit that on there. This is where those Blue Hawks and artillery units are going to come in handy with this little mountain in the middle there. Unit all nuke almost finished. Gosh, I'm really out of practice on my casting. Again, Mirdinka sending in units to not really do a whole lot. There goes the nuke now. Let's have a gander from our wonderful side perspective here. Probably come over the horizon in about that location. Speaking of missiles on touchdown, and there's the unit cannons to finish it off. Tack, 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 tack. Where's he gone? He was over here! Ah! B13 gets lucky. Mirdinka. But yeah, speaking of missiles touching down, did anyone watch the SpaceX launch today, this morning? With the three rockets, 3 engines, all landing. Oh, it was so impressive. Like, 2 of them landed at the same time. Oh, it was so cool. I literally just woke up, turned on YouTube, just happened to see it in the live feed, and I was like, oh, I'm half asleep, but that's cool. Yeah, now it's just a case of find the commander and play whack-a-mole. Or is it? All of a sudden, there's not much in the way of defense here for Mirdinka. Factory goes down, so does the nuke launcher. No? You're not going to kill off the nuke launcher? Surely. Surely. I mean, it's not exactly going to fire another nuke. What? You're not going to kill the nuke launcher? What? 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 Mirdinka? Mirdinka? What? Mirdinka? Where were your units, Mirdinka? Oh, that's right. You sent them in to die, Mirdinka. What? Well, GG.